What is it, guys? Back with another What If. I am sorry I've been gone for so long. I was mostly hurt, even though it was my first time making gotcha video. Someone said I sucked. I honestly saw what he meant, and I started making it a little bit more better with a better storyline. So I hope you guys like it when I get done, because I'm not fully done yet, but I'm halfway done. That's why I didn't record What Ifs for a while. So I hope you guys like this What If. It's called What If Issei had a demonic katana sword. And explain the backstory of the sword. This demonic sword is literally like, for the underworld wise, was the strongest katana swords who was supposed to be passed down to the generation of the devil kings, basically. But some reason out of the other devil kings, it doesn't like appear to them, or it doesn't live for them until this demonic day of the present timeline, because that was like 50,000 years ago, back into the present day, where Issei was basically trying to save his best friend, aka Azia, in this timeline. And Issei was literally trying to rage out and try to attack Rainier, aka the Fallen Angel. If you guys don't know what a Fallen Angel is, watch High School DxD. So basically, this woman I hate. Oh my god, I hate so much in my life. The moment I watched it, I was hating the anime, even though the main protagonist is literally a pervert, if I could say that. But yeah, in this one, he's a little bit of a pervert, but not fully a pervert. So Issei was trying to hit Rainier, try to smack her, trying to use like fighting things, because he only has his the first liberation of his boosted gear. The only boost 10 times, if I remember. No, 5 times. I think it was 5 times. And when he got a light spear through the chest, again, almost literally blacking out to die, something called to him. 2 things called to him. One that sounds like a roaring dragon, while the other one sounds demonic and fills with power. While the dragon version said, "Hey, partner, are you really gonna let this woman stand? Ain't you gonna defend yourself? Ain't you gonna be stronger? Ain't you promise yourself you'll be stronger to protect anybody?" In Issei's head, he said, "Who's saying that? How will I protect somebody if I can't beat this woman?" And Issei, doubting himself, the demonic power will say, even though I don't have a demonic voice, "Do you want power? Power to destroy. Power to destroy anybody who gets in your path. Don't you want demonic power?" And the 2 voices are literally convincing Issei he wants to get stronger to protect anyone. And he got out with a better resolve. While the sword didn't smile, but I'm gonna say this: the sword is actually. I'll save that for a little bit later. I got y'all. And then he grabs the sword in his right hand. What the booster gear is now appeared in the booster gear. Something on the outside when Rainier was trying to leave, a demonic presence kicked her in. She sweated for a few minutes and then slowly turned around, seeing a demonic freaking aura covering the place where Issei was supposed to be dead at. But it's a demonic aura. Keeps going higher and higher from a far distance, or some way under the in the basement. Kiba, Koneko, Riaz, and Akano felt a demonic presence similar to a freaking Devil King. And then the moment the demonic thing disappeared, you see a Issei, but more draconic. How do you say? Demonic teeth with a demonic wings, 4 wings, dragon and demonic wings. and demonic horns. And then when he slowly opened his eyes was demonic. One of them was red, one of them was green. Slid it down. And this dude's hair is literally gotten longer. And it was reddish black. He looks at Rainier. And he said, huh. Now I see it. Your aura is weak. And she said, what you say? Even forgetting about that demonic aura. Do a light spear. Issei, with his own hand, use his katana. And he said, demonic katana slash. Slashed it, cut the spear, cut this woman's wing off in a matter of milliseconds. And Rainier is screeching out in pain, like, what the And then Issei kicks her before she can say another word. Grabs her, slams her to the ground, and said, get up. And then Rainier gets up, summons a light sword, clashing with Issei. Issei is actually just toying with her at this point. Blissing, seeing she could keep up, she could slightly keep up, but she noticed her other wing is gone. And then Issei socks her up, and then the moment she looks down, he's not there. She turns around quickly because of her instinct. And then slashes down, but Issei parries that attack. Grabs her arm, breaks it, and socks her to the ground. With so much force, the building almost shook. Actually, I'm going to take that back. It shook and almost broke apart. Issei seeing that, even though in the state, he looks and sees his best friend, Azia, dead on the bench, about to get crushed by some rocks. He blitzes over there real quick, slashes the rock, put her to safety outside. Actually, I'm going to say this. He blitzes to Rias, even though Rias doesn't know what's going on, what's coming that fast. Sees a girl in her arms, and Akeno said, wait, that's the girl of what Issei was talking about. How did she just... And then Issei is back, beating the living hell out of Rainier. And Rainier is getting broken, beaten, sweat and tears. And then the moment the barrage gets there, they see a different person, aka Issei. And looks in at a Rainier who is scared out of her fucking mind. He said, well, I got done toying with you. It's time to die, bitch. And then slashes her so quickly, bro, off the demonic sword that Issei barely even knows how to use because of the power is basically getting poured into his mind how to use the weapon. This man literally conjured demonic destruction energy and cuts her, and she disintegrates. And seeing that, Rias is kind of confused or kind of scared. And she said, Issei? And Issei slowly looks at her. What am I trying to blitz? He blitzed even way. Looks at her and said, President? And Rias is asking what happened. Before anything happens, Issei just passes out at this point. Body goes back to normal. The sword is literally like, it appears as a tattoo on his arm. And then Issei was out for at least a couple of weeks. Because demonic power, Issei's not used to that. And seeing that, they took Issei back to his house because his parents were on a trip. And revives Asya there. And explaining to Asya she's a devil now. And she asks us where is Issei at. And Issei is in his room, passed out for like, they even say this is like 3 weeks ago. Because Asya wouldn't wake up for like at least a couple of days. And she went to go see Issei. Issei is still knocked out. While that happened outside, Asya was just waiting for him to wake up. Issei in his inner mind was actually training. and actually trying to learn the sword better, and asking who's the sword to me, or who's the sword to itself. He asked the sword that, and at this point, the sword will come clean with the name. My name is a good name, a good demonic name. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna try demonic. Demonic mimosa. Yeah, I might just stick with that. My name is Demonic Mimosa. And Issei was like paused for like, wait a minute, isn't that a girl's name? And she said, yes, that's my name. Damn, why your voice was deep before? Oh, acting. And Issei's like, okay. And then he actually meets Drag, and learning about Drag, he was able to get the second liberation of, not Balance Breaker, but he will get the second liberation of Booster Gear, like with the spice come out the glove and everything, so he doubles more power from the original canon Issei, because that man learns that in another episode. Probably, I don't know what episode, I forgot. But in training, Issei's body and outside was actually building up a little bit, slowly by the day. While he was training with the sword, clashing with the other user because she was able to turn to human and use her own sword. So clashing this and mastering the sword techniques of the sword, Issei is basically the strongest swordsman in the game. I said game, in the world. If he mastered the feat. And Issei was asking, wait, if Drake has a balance breaker, don't you have a balance breaker? And she said, yes, but you will look demonic as hell. And then she shows him her demonic form. Basically, imagine Asta's form, but a little bit more demonic. If y'all didn't watch Black Clover or the manga yet. Basically, hold on, I'll show y'all. Imagine this form, but more demonic and more horns. And if he mastered, he'll be able to go in the balance breaker with this form, but he'll only last 5 minutes in that form. So after seeing that, Issei is pumped. He wants to train. He trains even harder than before, like push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and all that. Even like, you know how like Cyborg put on weights. If y'all never watch High School DxD, go search it. But this guy named Cyborg, I'm gonna explain Cyborg. This man trained himself, not having demonic power or nothing. Trained his whole body, his whole life, weights on and all, and this man became the strongest devil in the freaking devil world with his strength alone. So basically, that's Issei's training regimen right now. So basically, this man got so strong, he activated the demonic katana Mimosa's bounce breaker. But only for 5 minutes. He can't last longer than that. Drake said he's close to mastering his, but not close. But after that, the whole week was up. Issei woke up, and Ozzy was right next to him. And he said, I'm hungry. And then hugs Ozzy, saying he will protect it this time. And then walks down and start eating the whole entire fridge. And then he said, why am I so hungry? And then the demonic Moses said, yeah, when you have my power, it needs fuel, so you need to eat a lot of food. And he's like, huh. So every time you use my balance breaker, you're gonna eat a lot of food. Huh. Okay. Interesting. And Issei was like, I wonder how the club members are doing. And then the next day, Ozzy was already enrolled in school. Issei saw her for the first, like woken her up, like, "Hey, Ozzy, we gotta go to school." The moment she wakes up and looks at this man, hugs this man with no intention of letting go at all. And Issei, like, he ain't dumb to not recognize her feelings. So he just hugs her back and just like saying, "I'm not going nowhere." And then she cried for at least a couple of hours, but it was all good now. So they walked to school. Everything will start playing like in original canon, how Ozzy was introduced to the school. Even though they still think Issei's a pervert, the whole school most of the time, because he has friends who are like perverts. And demonic Mimosa is always trying to taint them sometimes, and Issei sees that a lot. And he asks her in the mindscape why. She said, I don't know, because you like. And Issei just stops her there. He said, no more. No more. And he actually thanks Mimosa for making him strong. But he asks, what happens if he combined her balance breaker with Drake's? And she actually doesn't know. And Drake doesn't even know either. Would it even work? Or possibly you'll be overpowered. And Issei's like, probably. So, after getting to the club room, Ria's asking Issei, does he know what he did? Honestly, he remembers some of the parts, but the fighting part, no. But he actually kind of figured out what actually gave him power to fight right there in the first place. He started explaining to the group about... Actually, take that back. He doesn't explain. They already know what the type of sword is, aka Ria's does, knowing the club members do. Going through all that, they was doing their daily lives until the aka Riser fight. But instead of like that 1 week to train, they basically they have like 3 weeks to train. So basically everybody was training, but Issei mostly trains himself physically physically and mentally. So basically he's stronger than Kodako. He's stronger than Kiba in swordsmanship, faster even, stronger than Volcano in magic and destructive power. He's aka closer to Rias than anybody thinks. Possibly even closer to Zex, the strongest demon. So everybody gets their power ups. Like I'm gonna say more because they don't have to. No, aka no offense to original Issei, have to waste time on them. So Ria actually learns how to control more of her demonic powers. Because her brother actually told Ria to master her powers and don't let anybody else take that through. Akano still doesn't want to use the fallen angel side. Ozzy started learning more defensive magic and defense, like attack magic and defensive magic. So basically, she can buff herself and she can defend herself. Konako is still Konako either way. She's still like brute strength and all that. Kiba is actually learning more fast speed, while Issei is more trying to access Drake's balance breaker. But he actually mastered his demonic Mosa katana balance breaker to an whole new level. Basically, Issei is 5 minutes. He actually got it up to 10 minutes. In Dregs, he was slowly trying to activate his balance breaker, but it was very hard. But on the second or third day, he actually attained balance breaker. Never showed it off to the group though, but he achieved it. Achieved 2 bounce breakers in a row. Yeah, and after the third day, after the third week, it was time to fight Riser. But this is gonna be where I pause for a moment and say I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys remember how I was gonna make my gacha life better. So hope you guys like it and subscribe. Peace. Keep turning up the heat.